In this episode, you'll discover 7 levels of energy and how they impact your ripple effect. Hey there, it's Michael. Welcome to Whole Again, a show about helping survivors of physical injury and trauma reclaim their strength and resilience through the wisdom of Kintsugi. Today, we're talking about the letter E. The E in my grace framework that helped me get through my recovery. And E represents energy. In this episode, I'll share 7 levels of energy and how they impact your ripple effect and how they help you feel whole again. But before we get there, I have something exciting to share with you. Our pause, breathe, reflect text messages are back. Yes, how cool is that? It's awesome sauce. These are messages I once sent out around 2022. I hit pause for a variety of different reasons, and now I'm bringing them back. They're free. They come a few times a week, so I don't overwhelm your inbox. And they happen to be just the right message you need at that particular moment. So if you'd like to receive them, send me a text to 866-612-4604. I'll share that number one more time. 866-612-4604 and receive a nice reminder on how to feel whole again. All right, now let's dive into those 7 levels of energy. When I was a kid, we would often visit my grandmother who lived in New Hampshire. She lived in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, so we called her Grammy in the Mountains. Pretty clever, right? Well, she had a pond on her property. It was where I learned how to fish, and it was also the place where I had my first physics lesson. And it was all about energy. You see, I spent hours gathering stones near that pond and skimming or skipping them across the water. You see, I was trying to get into the Guinness Book of World Records for the most rock skips or skims. I got all the way up to 14. But here's the thing. The Guinness Book of World Records is 88. I was a bit short, but I still love the concept of energy. In fact, I later discovered that as humans, actually everything around us, we're all energy. Now, some people will call it your juju or your vibe, whatever you happen to call it, your energy matters. In fact, when you think about community, which is the C in the grace model, which we discussed last week, well, as they say, your vibe attracts your tribe. Your energy matters. And the energy of your tribe also matters to your overall health. And the concept of energy may be a little bit woo-woo, but I know you've felt it. You can feel it when you go to a concert or a sporting match, or even when someone comes onto a Zoom or a Microsoft Teams, or simply walks into the room. And you feel it. The air seems different. Something changes, even though no words are spoken. And that energy ripples into you. It could make you feel worried or anxious, although it could make you feel safe and feel like you're loved. You can feel compassion. That is energy. That's our ripple effect. And since we're going through something, whether it's injury or illness or even surviving trauma, our nervous systems are finely tuned. So being very intentional about the spaces that we're in and those around us, again, going back to community, that community's ripple effect impacts our recovery, but we also have a responsibility. It's good relationship hygiene to be mindful of what kind of ripple we're putting out into the world. Ultimately, what we carry, and we happen to carry a lot, we share. For the first 10 years of my recovery, I focused in on this grace framework I've shared with you over the last several weeks. And I would reflect on the ripple effect I was putting into the world, whether it happened to be as a leader at work or at home with my family, or as I worked on my health and recovery. And then in 2011, I found a framework that I just love. It comes from the Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching, and I'm a certified coach of this model, and I share it with companies today because company culture is basically energy. And in this framework, there are 7 levels of energy. And each level is neither good or bad. It's simply data. And it gave me a way to talk about energy in addition to my ripple effect analogy and the stories of me being a little adorable boy skimming stones at my Grammy in the Mountains farmhouse. So here they are. Level 1 is common for folks like us who have gone through something. It's the why me level. There's a lot of different emotions at level 1. In fact, with all the different levels, there are emotions and thoughts and actions that are tied to each one. Again, one level isn't better than the next. It's just good to know how we're showing up and at what level, because that's the energy that we bring into the situation. So at level 1, we're not doing much. We're worried. We might wish to curl up on the couch. We try to get smaller. We don't move. Now at level 2, the emotions tend to change. There's more conflict. There's some anger. There's some blame. There's a little resistance. There's some frustration. There's a little bit more fight. So this is the fight in the fight flight. Level 1 might be the flee. Level 2 is the fight. Now this energy, and we might have, as some would say, unpleasant emotions tied to it. This energy level, level 2, can get us moving. And once we start moving, then different emotions come up, different thoughts, and it has this circular effect. Now, once we're moving, we have different thoughts. Now the flywheel is turning. So level 2, even though we might look at anger or frustration as negative, that energy can be used in a very positive way. Level 3 is the make lemonade out of lemons. It's a little bit of coping. We'll get through it. It's Robert Frost. The only way through is through. And this is a good neutral level of energy between the catabolic energy of level 1 and level 2 and the more anabolic or building energy of levels 4 through 7, which I'll share here in a second. Level 4, this is where all the caregivers reside. This is love, compassion, empathy, service, caring, how can I help energy. Level 5 is about opportunity. We see the wins in it. We see gratitude. We have curiosity. There's more flexibility. There's more open to possibilities at level 5. Great companies, great company cultures have a lot of level 5 in them. At level 6, things really start getting good. There's flow, there's intuition, there's joy, there's connection, there's synchronicity. Things become easier. And at level 7, this is where absolute passion sits. There's non-judgment. There's unconditional love. We don't really hang out at level 7, but we can get there in some moments. So the key to overall happiness as it relates to energy and a pathway to feeling whole again is spending more time in levels 4, 5, 6, and 7, and less time in level 1 and level 2. Now, all of us have a stress reaction. So when we're stressed and as we're going through something, we're more likely to have a level 1 and level 2 experience. But we don't stay there forever. In fact, we travel through all the different levels throughout the day. And as I mentioned just a minute ago, the levels aren't good or bad. It's not like we want to spend our whole time at level 7. Each level has some things that are positive about it and some things to be mindful of, even at level 7. In fact, if you spent your whole time there, people might see you as a bit aloof. So the invite around this whole concept of energy in these 7 levels is to be aware of which level of energy you're bringing into any situation. We start with that intention, that type of awareness. So I'll recommend this practice to you. I invite you to try it out over the next week and then email me back and let me know how it's going for you. Take one deep breath before entering any room or Zoom or Microsoft Teams, just one breath. And ask yourself, what energy are you bringing into that space? You can also spend some time just taking in what energy you feel from others in that space. And if you're unsure about what energy you're bringing in, because the only thing we really have control over is our actions, not someone else's, think about how you wish to show up and do so very intentionally in a way that's aligned to your values or your first principles, because that makes life that much easier. And I totally get it because, as you know, I've been there. Sometimes it's really hard to get to level 5 or 6 or 7 when we're going through something, when we're trying to heal. We're tired, we're frustrated sometimes. So maybe the best we can do is just to move from level 1 to level 3, the make lemonade out of our lemons. And that might be just enough to put a different type of ripple effect into those closest to you. And that might change their energy. And when their energy changes, it ripples into you. And the ripple then spreads from you to others. And that's how we bring about great change. One moment at a time, one ripple at a time. But it's best if we can do it with some intentionality, with some awareness. So try that exercise on for size and let me know what you experience. And there you have it, a little bit about energy and the 7 levels of energy and how you might intentionally decide to show up with one level in mind, and how you can also use this knowledge to make sure you're surrounded by people who also have a positive ripple effect. And I know I covered a lot in this short episode, so if you want to learn more, please reach out. And as always, thanks for being here. And thank you for being a fellow survivor. And if you'd like to receive those amazing, high energy, pause, breathe, reflect text messages, send me a message to 866-612-4604, and I'll get you set up. And if you wish to learn more about creating beautiful ripples and how to prevent a bad moment from turning into a bad day, please visit my website, michaelobrienshift.com, and sign up for my newsletter called The Ripple Effect. And join us each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here at Whole Again and discover how you can heal, grow, and become more resilient. And celebrate our scars as golden symbols of strength and resilience. Until then, remember, you can always come back to your breath. You've got this, and we've got you.